Welcome to Manga Countdown. In the last episode, Kang Han Soo, an average boy, got summoned to a fantasy world as a hero. Han Soo wasn't thrilled with the idea of being a hero. He didn't understand why he was summoned like the other losers in reincarnation stories because he was perfectly happy with his life. Fortunately for Han Soo, he had reached the end of his journey and he was about to fight the Demon King. Before he fought the Demon King, he asked him why he kept sending his subordinates to fight him because he could have come to kill Han Soo by himself. Han Soo called the Demon King his biggest sponsor because every time he defeated his subordinates, he grew stronger. After defeating the Demon King, the god of the fantasy world appeared in front of Han Soo. The god congratulates him on his accomplishment. Han Soo accepted the congratulation and told the god that she should send him back home. The god said she would do this after she sees Han Soo's report card. Han Soo didn't expect a report card would be created for him. Han Soo's strength, reputation and abilities were good. The only thing that was bad was his character, which was ranked F. The reason why Han Soo's character was ranked F was because he killed his teammates before facing the Demon King. The god asked why he did such a thing. Han Soo said that the people of this world are savages who should be reported for abuse of right. He said that his teammates were the worst. They beat him while pretending that they are training him. The god said that Han Soo needs to learn character in order to graduate from this world successfully. She sent Han Soo back to the day he was summoned to the fantasy world. Han Soo was shocked to see this. When he returned back, he is greeted by a girl who he thinks is an annoying bitch. When she went to call a guard, Han Soo is dragged to another dimension. In this dimension, he is greeted by a woman who says she is a special instructor whose job is to watch over him in this world. Han Soo knew that the woman was there to interfere with his action. After introducing herself, the instructor left. On his way to meet the king, Han Soo is attacked by Knight Captain Alex. Han Soo remembered that in the first round, Alex beat him up while pretending to train him. Han Soo brings out a pen and used it to attack Alex's balls. Han Soo was happy when the attack went through because even though the god reset his level, she couldn't take his 10 years of experience. Currently, Han Soo is starting to see coming back as a divine revelation that he could release all his stacked up stress from the first round. Han Soo is sure that he has lost his powers, but to him that doesn't mean he has gotten weaker because even the special instructor can't turn his 10 years of effort into nothing. That is simply ridiculous to Han Soo. As Han Soo entered the palace, we see a court full of knights and a man on a throne. The man on the throne is the king of this kingdom. Han Soo refers to him as bastard. He says the king's face looks like a dumpling. Han Soo heard that when the king was younger he used to go to war and had a warlike character, but now he is just a loser. Looking around, Han Soo noticed that there is a lot of annoyed faces among the members of the court. The knight that guided Han Soo reminds him that he is in the presence of the king. Han Soo remembers his first time in the kingdom. He made a mistake in greeting the king, but because Han Soo knows the future, he feels no need to please the king who will be assassinated. In that moment, Han Soo remembers the words his special instructor said to him. He decided to be modest. Han Soo greets the king in a respectful manner that he shocks all the nobles. Although Han Soo didn't like it, he had spent 10 years in this world. He knew every form of etiquette. The king was happy with Han Soo's greeting. He praised Lenovel for her hard work in summoning him. The king asked Han Soo if he could see his abilities. This means he wanted Han Soo to check his status. In Han Soo's status, his race was arch-human, his level is 1, his job is a hero, his skills are interpretation, fortitude and assassination, and his status was normal. In this world, if you repeat an action several times, it becomes a skill, and if you become proficient in the skill, it will go up in rank and the efficiency and power will increase. Interpretation was a skill given to Han Soo in the first round, but what shocks him was the two new skills, which were fortitude and assassination. The change in Han Soo's skill happened because of the test of courage carried out by the Knight Captain, although what really angered Han Soo was that all the skills he worked for in the first round are all gone. Han Soo tells the king that his job is hero and his level is 1. The king asked Han Soo what the specifics of a hero is. Han Soo says it is 5 times experience bonus. This sentence shocked the king and the court. Han Soo already expected such a reaction because regardless of talent, he can grow 5 times faster than anyone else. In other words, if Han Soo was to repeat an action for an hour, it would be the same as repeating the action for 5 hours. Han Soo refers to it as the cheating specialty of a hero. The king tells Han Soo that crisis is upon their kingdom and it lies near the demon territory. The king tells him that after killing the demons and raising his skills, he should defeat the demon king Petinar. Han Soo didn't want to do this because the kingdom wasn't going to pay him. Han Soo believed that even without the demon king, this kingdom already has a lot of problems and the king should not blame demons. Instead he should live by looking around him. Han Soo decided to ask the king for support. The king was shocked by the question. He told Han Soo that he summoned him to save mankind in his country and he gave Han Soo the greatest support. The king asked what Han Soo was trying to do. Upon hearing this, Han Soo refused their mission and asked them to find another hero. This sentence shocked the king and the nobles of the kingdom. Han Soo said that this kingdom's crisis is none of his business. He says that their attitude towards him is wrong and that they should be kneeling and begging him instead of ordering him around. He tells the dumpling-looking king that he is not a citizen of this country. A member of the court calls Han Soo a scoundrel. Immediately he says this. Han Soo throws his pen onto his forehead. The throw makes Han Soo confirm that his strength isn't the same as the past and he should have aimed for the man's eye sockets. The knights approached Han Soo for his action. Instead of being scared, Han Soo provokes them to kill him. The knights call him crazy. Han Soo says that if the king dies, the prince can replace him. If the prince is lost, the princess will replace him, and if there is no princess, a distant relative will replace her. If it's like that, what would happen if the hero dies? Who will replace him and how will they kill the demon king? Han Soo saw the king and his men as pigs that he didn't need to treat kindly because they will always come back to beg him. Han Soo didn't like this people because they wanted to treat him like a hunting dog that would follow their every wishes. He thought of the demon king as a kind man when compared to them because every time he defeated the demon king's men, he is regularly rewarded with items and equipment that helped his journey. The reason why Han Soo is acting like this was because he is sure that the king won't kill him. Of course he does not know if he will revive when he dies, but he decided to take such a chance. The king was angry to see how Han Soo was acting. He said he bought a lot of materials and items to summon Han Soo and he even commanded Lenouville to help with the summoning. Han Soo asked him how that was his business. The king told Han Soo that he is a possession of the kingdom. Han Soo said that if he really belongs to the kingdom, the king should announce it to the whole world and see what happens to them. The king, the queen and the nobles were shocked by what Han Soo said. Han Soo said he will go to the country that treats him favorably and it will be futile for the king to stop or imprison him because if the world finds out that the hero, the hope of humanity, was oppressed, the kingdom will be doomed and the nobles who supported the king will be done for. After calming down, the king asked Han Soo what he wants. Han Soo said he wants food, shelter, equipment, potion and room service. The king asked what Han Soo meant by room service. Han Soo said he want to get someone to bang. What a smart man. The king was disappointed to hear this. Han Soo said the most important thing he wants is money. Han Soo felt that since he knows how to defeat the demon king, he should just get money from the kingdom to speed up the process. After the incident with the king was solved, the instructor comes to meet Han Soo. She asks him why he keeps causing trouble for her. She tells Han Soo that the king will keep making demands because he gave Han Soo financial support. She tells Han Soo that his life will worsen thanks to his greed. The instructor said that because of the other students, she doesn't have more time to guide Han Soo. Han Soo was shocked to hear that there are other students. The instructor tells Han Soo that he is not the only person to be summoned as a hero. She told Han Soo that a lot of people have graduated from this fantasy world and returned to Earth. She tells Han Soo to try harder to clear the fantasy world. After saying this, she left. Han Soo was in shock to hear that there are other students. He realized that the people responsible for this fantasy world kidnapped students and trained them into heroes. Han Soo was slowly understanding his situation. As he tries to think harder, Lenovel climbed on his bed to disturb him. When Han Soo sees her boobs, he immediately pushes her away. Lenovel had been watching Han Soo since the time he was summoned. In the past, Han Soo would have been smitten by Lenovel, but what the instructor, who he refers to as Professor Moral, said was troubling him. Han Soo asked Lenovel if he is the only hero that was summoned to this world. Lenovel says he is. Han Soo found this suspicious. This is because Professor Morals said that she is currently dealing with a lot of students. This means that a lot of heroes are currently on their way to defeat the Demon King. This didn't make sense to Han Soo because he is the only hero in this world. Han Soo realized that they could be parallel worlds which are similar to this world and have the Demon King whom the heroes are meant to defeat. He wasn't very sure about his theory, so he decided to think about the issue later. He believed that since graduate get to return to Earth after leaving this fantasy world, he has to become a graduate. He tells Lenovel to follow him. Han Soo tells her that since he struggled to get financial support, he has to enjoy it. The king allowed Han Soo to use the national treasury, but he said he would only allow Han Soo to use it if Lenovel manages the money given to Han Soo. Han Soo wanted to complain, but he understood that the king cannot just open the national treasury and allow anyone to use it without supervision. When they got outside, Lenovel asked Han Soo if she could get a magic orb which cost 200,000 gold. Han Soo was shocked to see the price. He couldn't believe that the king entrusted the money to someone like Lenovel. He told Lenovel to buy it since it is not his money she is spending. The place they went shopping is the kingdom's center of trading, and because of how high the tax is, goods are very expensive. Among this goods, any products that have magic in their name are the most expensive. After Lenovel bought it, she came to show Han Soo. Han Soo was angry because the orb was glowing and attracting unwanted attention. He told Lenovel to follow him. In the first round, Han Soo walked around the kingdom in his school uniform. This brought him a lot of unwanted attention. He decided to avoid that this time. Han Soo went to a clothing store. He bought some really awful clothing. Lenovel tried to say his fashion sense was good, but Han Soo told her he knows that he looks like a fool, so she doesn't need to flatter him. When Han Soo left the store, the people that saw him on the road assumed he was a noble or a very rich man. Of course Han Soo knew that this would happen. He knew the people of this world would never question a noble or look at them strangely if they buy expensive items. Lenovel was shocked by Han Soo's quick thinking. She asked Han Soo where he was going to because he didn't visit the famous blacksmiths or potion makers. Han Soo said that he is going to the black market. Lenovel was surprised to hear this. She couldn't believe that a righteous hero like Han Soo wanted to go to an illegal auction. Han Soo smiled and told Lenovel that her magic orb is illegal because she bought it out of selfish interest. He said that while he allowed her to buy it, she immediately jumped at the opportunity without any second thought. Han Soo told her that they are accomplices. When Lenovel heard this, she immediately changed her attitude. She said that if it is for world peace, Han Soo should visit the black market. She asked Han Soo how he was going to find the black market because even she, who has lived in the capital for a long time, has never been there. When Han Soo heard this, he knew it would be strange for someone who is supposed to be a newbie in this world to find the black market that even a native doesn't know. He told Lenovel that he is a hero who is expected to defeat the Demon King, fairies, and dragons. He said that it is an easy task for him to find the black market. When Lenovel heard this, she was surprised. Han Soo told her to shut up and just follow him. Of course, not even Han Soo knew the location of the black market. In order to find out, he went to a pub that he often drinks in. When they entered the pub, there were people drinking and enjoying themselves. Han Soo was happy to see that the pub was still the same. He goes to meet the bartender called Tony. Tony is a former assassin who opened a pub after retiring. In the first round, he was the one who taught Han Soo how to survive in this world. He is Han Soo's good friend and teacher. Han Soo didn't come to reunite with Tony. If he wanted to do that he wouldn't have brought Lenovel with him. Tony asked Han Soo what he wanted to order. Han Soo asked Tony if good liquor was brought to their pub today. What Han Soo said was code word which Tony understood. Tony said that he has 27-year-old stout black dragon. This meant that the black market was happening today. The black dragon which Tony mentioned was the location of the black market. Han Soo continued to converse with Tony in code. When he was done drinking, Han Soo asked Tony how the grilled muttons are. Tony said the mutton's quality is quite great. The grilled muttons which Tony and Han Soo were talking about is the main item of the black market, slaves. After getting the information he wanted, Han Soo began to run with Lenovel. Lenovel, whose mouth was full, asked Han Soo why he was in such a hurry. Han Soo was angry to hear this. He said that the reason why he is running is because Lenovel ate everything on the menu and delayed them. Lenovel accepted that it was her fault. She asked Han Soo how he knew Tony. Han Soo said that Tony is publicly known as a bartender, but in the first round when he was a naive high school student, Tony was that cool friend who taught him the law of the jungle. On their way to the black market, Han Soo tells Lenovel that he has another ability apart from his 5 times experience bonus. Lenovel was shocked to hear this. When Han Soo first came to this world in the first round, he was able to see other people's status apart from his own. Han Soo always wondered why he could do such, but after listening to Professor Morals, he understood a little. The ability was given to heroes in order for them to know in the early stages of their adventure the strong and weak opponents so that they do not die a stupid death. Luckily for Han Soo, the ability also worked in this round. Lenovel asked Han Soo if he could see her level. Han Soo already knew her level before, but he decided to check again. Lenovel's level was 200. Her job is that she is a scholar and her skills are magic, which is ranked A, sorcery which is also A, and charm which is B ranked. Even though Lenovel's is in level 200, she can't fight the weakest follower of the Demon King, and oddly enough she is considered to be a very strong person. Han Soo felt annoyed to see Lenovel's level because even though Lenovel is currently weak, she has the potential to be very strong. Han Soo remembered how strong Lenovel became in the first round. He decided to not tell Lenovel her level. While disturbing Han Soo, a thief with a knife cuts Lenovel's bag. The thief took her money and ran. As the magic orb was about to be destroyed, Han Soo saved it and threw it at the thief. The orb hit the thief's back. Han Soo picked up the orb. He told the thief that the orb hit is waste disc and if it isn't attended to, it will lead to waste pain. The thief stood up out of anger. He was in level 8. There is a difference of 7 levels between Han Soo and the thief. Han Soo told the thief that he would let him go if he leaves the money and run. The thief was angry to hear this. He rushed to attack. Han Soo might have lost his level when he returned to this world, but he still has 10 years of experience. He removed his cap and used it to blind the thief. He went to the thief's back and smashed the magic orb on his neck. Lenovel called the guards in the area and they arrested the thief. Lenovel told Han Soo that the fight that he had with the thief proves that he is experienced in killing. Han Soo shouted at Lenovel. He told her not to treat people like murderers. After obtaining 10 years of experience, Han Soo had become used to killing people who he felt were his enemies. Han Soo asked Lenovel if she knew the level of an average adult. Lenovel said she doesn't. Han Soo said that it is level 2. The man who attacked him was in level 8. He said that the man who attacked him was not a former hunter or soldier, he was a murderer. Lenovel didn't allow Han Soo to explain fully. She assumed that the reason why Han Soo stopped the thief was because he had committed a lot of atrocious actions. She said that what Han Soo did was a splendid act that became his first accomplishment. Lenovel asked Han Soo if he leveled up after defeating the thief. Han Soo checked his status. His race said he was a arch-human. His level had changed to level 4 and his skills were interpretation, which is ranked A, fortitude, which is ranked F, assassination also F rank, and murder, which was also F rank. Han Soo wondered if a level 4 is as strong as an athlete on Earth. He couldn't believe he was in a fantasy world that increases one's power the more they murder. He didn't see this as a thing that should exist in a fantasy world. He didn't care about it because his level went up for the first time since he returned to this world. He and Lenovel continued their journey to the black market. As Han Soo and Lenovel were walking away, they didn't notice that someone was watching them from behind. In a dark alley, a man appears to greet Han Soo and Lenovel. He asked them if they were Tony's costumers. Han Soo says that they are not Tony's customers but his archenemies. This was a password Han Soo needed to say before he is allowed to enter the black market. The man asked Han Soo to follow him. The black market is a company that operates all over the continent in shadows. Even in Han Soo's first round, he wasn't able to figure out who owns the black market. When they finally arrived at the black market, it was in a weird-looking building. When they entered the building, Han Soo told Lenovel to look at the floor. When she looks at it, she sees a spatial magic circle. She was shocked to see this because spatial magic circles are very expensive to make. Han Soo told her not to act like a country bumpkin. Lenovel says that Han Soo is the odd one for not been shocked by this. They are given masks to hide their identity. After wearing the mask, the man activated the magic circle and they were transported to a different location. When they arrived, everywhere was dark. Lenovel wanted to create light with her magic but Han Soo told her not to. Lenovel asked why. Han Soo said he doesn't want to provoke the guards. Even though they teleported to another location, Han Soo knows that they are in the forest located in the west side of the kingdom. After they arrived there, a man comes to greet them. The man says that the auction will begin soon and he is going to guide them to their assigned seats. While guiding them to their seats, the man said that bells are on their tables which they will hit if they want to bid. The man said that if they take off their mask and reveal their identities, the black market wouldn't be responsible for any issues that arises. Han Soo called Lenovel Miss Extra and he asked if she understood the explanation. Lenovel was about to reply to Han Soo but he held her lips and told her to shut up. This is because Lenovel is a famous beauty in the continent and Han Soo doesn't know what will happen if she reveals her identity. As the man walked forward, Han Soo told Lenovel to not cause trouble here if she doesn't wish to be buried alive. After they sat down, the auction began. The first thing that was auctioned was a veteran warrior who survived in the demon territory. Han Soo was annoyed to see this because he knew that this man is not a veteran warrior. The man is average warrior who was in level 11, which means he is way weaker than Lenovel. Han Soo believed that no smart person would buy this man, yet many people were bidding for the man. Han Soo remembered that nobody has his ability. Lenovel says that she finally understands Han Soo's plan. She says that Han Soo wants to buy an outstanding slave and turn him into a comrade. She says that Han Soo is thinking like the ancient hero. Han Soo was annoyed to hear what Lenovel said because he actually did something like that in his first round. Unfortunately for him, he bought a slave that was a jerk. He didn't know that the elf he bought would hate humans. Lenovel felt bad that they weren't able to buy the first slave. Han Soo said that only idiots would bid for the first slave because the real auction begins after the first slave has been sold. The next slave that was introduced was a noble lady from a fallen house. Lenovel wanted to save the lady but Han Soo told her that they are not here to play or save nobles. Han Soo was happy that Lenovel listened to him because if it was the elf, she would have tried to overthrow the auction and free all the slaves. Han Soo was frustrated when he thought about all the trouble he went through because of her. While thinking, a slave was brought up to the stage. Han Soo was happy because this was who he was looking for. Guys, we have come to the end of our video. If you guys want part 3 of this video, let me know in the comments section below. Also don't forget to like and smash that subscribe button.